What makes digging a hole at the beach appealing to men? Me and my buddies built a sand wall at the beach while the tide was out, trying to protect our sand castle we spent hours on. And the wall held up surprisingly well until the tide got too aggressive. I think it's like an ancestral thing. Brings us back to our survival protection hunter-gatherer roots, lol. Honestly, it was truly epic in every sense of the word. We had random people cheering and taking pictures, videos of us, while we also cheered for our great sand wall of Vancouver. It's just a fun physical activity, and digging is usually extremely hard work in dirt, clay, frost. But in sand it's so much easy, so you can do it and feel like you are getting shit done so easily. If you've ever had to dig a real hole in packed dirt, clay, you know the difference. Sand just falls away and scoops up so easy. You don't need to pick and break up the sand first. A hole in the sand resembles the same practical work our ancestors did digging holes for farming, or for building, or burial, or many of the other reasons a burgeoning species would have to dig holes. Similar to how finding a nice stick or shiny rock resembles our ancestors finding what could become a useful tool for hunting, crafting. It's not just the beach. A childhood friend of mine and I decided one day to start digging a hole in the fields behind our houses. We didn't get very far, but afterward when we were really bored we'd just shrug if we couldn't find something to do and say want to go work on the hole. And take some shovels out to go dig some more. Like, a few times a year for years. One time I was bored on a beach where my young son was invited to his friend's birthday party. I started digging this hole with an empty can and most of the other parents were passing comments about this adult man digging a hole, some less jokingly than others. By the time I was finished they all wanted to take a photo of their kid in the hole. It's something ingrained into our DNA. I took my 3-year-old to the beach last week and without any prodding or suggestion, he asked me to help him dig a hole. The whole time we were there he just kept saying he needed to make it bigger. He didn't even want to go in the water, only dig. It's a fun feeling to create something from nothing. That's why men have workshops in their garage. That's why adult men buy Legos. That's why men build furniture, sheds, etc. That, the ability to create nothing from something, that shit's a whole other level. Men are into building, tinkering, etc. See psychology. Also much less extroverted than women. So digging a hole, building a sandcastle, etc. is a good way to avoid having people speak with you, unless it's about the task at hand with the bows. It's not only men. I 30 enjoy digging holes and burying my nieces in it. That sounds a lot more nefarious than I realize. Well, anyways, they enjoy it and I enjoy making them into sand mermaids. Makes it so I don't have to walk around after them. Well, I typically dig so I can put my feet in, and I'll carve out a little chair. Instead of buying an overpriced beach chair, and the sand chair is more comfy anyways. I usually dig a hole big enough for everyone to stick their feet in though. All men are genetically hardwired to be on a permanent, never-ending quest to see the perfect hole in the sand and find the perfect stick. You might as well ask why birds fly south during the winter or why your cat is an asshole. Men like duty, no duty around, make duty. Nothing but sand around. Dig the sand. There are mostly naked girls everywhere. The sun's out. We've got a beer or 3 in the system, we got to move around and do shit. A little girl literacy just died because the sand collapsed on her. It's a really stupid thing to do. Unless it's just a really small hole. Nobody goes into it. And you fill it back up the minute you're done. A friend of mine found a cannonball and there was a big commotion at the beach and everyone was looking at it. Then the park rangers came and confiscated it because they said it belongs to the government. It's cathartic like vacuuming. Takes enough concentration to focus and keep you off your problem, but no brain power to plan anything. There's even some computer games designed around digging. Sometimes I think if I just spray painted pirate fonted X's around a strip of sandy coast, I could make a lot of men happy. No treasure. Just opportunities. Sand flying everywhere. Take. Hole. Deep hole. Dig. Earth has moved. I'm strong. Gaze upon my fear, beachgoers. Witness as I bury myself or create a small ocean within this hole. I have done this. It really just comes down to it's something to do. I feel like laying on a beach and relaxing is great for a certain amount of time. But then it's like, all right. Now what? It's productive and men like productivity. There might be buried treasure under there. Might finally make it to China. Demonstrate industriousness for women present. Because laying in the sun gets boring after a while. Many men are like dogs in that regard. They need to be entertained. Or at least able to entertain themselves. We are easily entertained, and it drives women crazy that we can take pleasure from such simple things. Which we also take pleasure from. Diggy hole. What makes women not see the appeal of digging a hole at the beach? Children like it. Men like it. It seems like women are the odd one out. Not men. I think part of it is that digging in sand is fairly easy compared to random dirt rocks, so it's like a more rewarding digging experience. As a man who has spent 35 years digging holes in beaches, I can tell you without a doubt or hesitation that I have no idea why I do it. Is that actually universally true? Or do people just make jokes on TikTok their identity because they're incapable of originality? When I was a bored kid in the 90s, my mom would tell me to go in the backyard and dig a hole. And I would. Now it's nostalgia. Got to do it. Just like got to punch any punching bag you ever come across. No reason at all. But it must be done. As children, our beach toes were shovels and buckets. As adults, we can buy our own full-size shovels and buckets. It's exercising power over your environment. There was no hole before and now there is one. And I made it. It's a lot more peaceful. If I try to do it anywhere else, people yell at me to get off their property. What's down there? Could be anything, it could even be a boat. You know how much we've wanted a boat. There's a fucking hole where there was sand before. It's not rocket science. You just like phase 9734. Imagine how impressed my girl will be when I hit China and come back with some authentic egg rolls. Sometimes we men need to commune by taking a huge dump in the same place to mark our territory, probably digging their own grave in case their partner sees them checking out other women. It's just a fun thing to do for them, just like how us women have our own fun things. YK. It's fun. Even if I don't have much time on the beach, I'll just dig half a hole. They're convinced it leads to China, and they just want to prove themselves right. What are you doing? Digging. Why? Make a hole. A hole for what? More digging. Same reason why dudes have to throw rocks into the water. Something to do. I dig a moat so that a princess would have a place to sit if one appeared. The same reason we pick up sticks that look neat. I don't know. Why do you ask? Is someone digging one right now? Do they need some help? Seeing the water start to fill in from beneath once you get deep enough. What makes reading chick lit while baking in the sun appealing to women? I'm a dwarf and I'm digging a hole. Diggy hole. There is no logical reason. It's just an instinct all men are born with. Tabi treasure. Matey hyphen here. Then yon hole on the morrow. Was a hole dug, and I didn't get to help, assholes. So they have a foxhole to observe the bikini-clad women safely. Do not take away one of the few non-technological joys I have. I'm a woman, and I do it too. I just want to reach the water. Watch this. The more I take away from it, the bigger it gets. For men, it's the simplest thing that brings us the most joy. Have you ever watched it refill with water and sand? Worth it. Its single quote says ... a big hole. You're digging it. The fuck don't you get? The real question is what isn't appealing about it to the op. Man, you build things. Man sees ground. Man one hole dig. I'm a dwarf and am digging a hole. Diggy hole. Big hole means big fun. Same as big rock make big splash. I'm gonna defer this one to the experts. Come here boy. Because it potentially fills with water. Science.